Perhaps you saw the earlier video where I talked about the gift I was sent by Microsoft, which was indeed several things, but also a Surface Go 3. I've just returned from a terrible trip to West Knoxville to buy this Go type cover. And so now in this video, I'm going to unbox the Go 3 as well as this type cover and give a general first early impressions of the device. So let's go ahead here and switch to the overhead camera. And we'll look at what we have here, the Microsoft Surface Go 3. Like I said in the other video, this is the base model, 64 gigs, 4 gigs RAM, and the Pentium Gold processor. So Speed Demon, this is not likely to be, but at any rate, it was a gift, it was free. We will not look a gift horse in the mouth. I've wanted a Go 3 for a while. I've got a Surface Pro 7, actually. I had two Surface Pro 7s for a while, and now I'm down to one. So here's a Go 3 to potentially replace that other one. You can see here that it is, in fact, very, very small. Let's take this out of the box really quickly and see what else is in here. Probably some paperwork there. I'm assuming that this is the charging setup, which appears to be a brick with their proprietary magnetic connector on the other end, which I actually really do like. I know some people don't like proprietary, but the wonderful thing about this is it's a good proprietary connector, and also it can charge, or at least the other Surfaces can charge with USB-C. I assume that's the same here. I also assume that that is, yep, everything that is in this box. You can see that mine is the standard silver model. And you've got your beautiful, well-constructed kickstand back there in the back, SD card slot there, your connectors for the type cover, which we'll be looking at here in just a moment, power, volume, USB-C, headphone jack, and then that charging cable. And that is the front of the device there. Very, very simple in terms of the setup, the layout. It feels great. It's cold. It's metal. It looks good. It's a Surface device. While that's powering up, let's grab the type cover. And all I did with this is I just went ahead and bought just the basic one, right? I didn't go with the models that had different colors and so forth. I just went with the basic one. Really nice big trackpad. Keyboard feels just like my other keyboards on my other Surface devices. And the beautiful thing about this is that right there. That's it. You're done. It's connected. It's hooked up. There you go. So that is the Surface Go 3. Let me grab my Surface Pro 7 for a size comparison. If I can get them kind of both lined up here, you can see that the Go model is significantly smaller than the Pro model. So if you're someone that is, looking for something that is very, very portable, this is likely to be a really good option. Let me get the setup done here and we'll jump back in. Okay, so I've spent some time getting this thing set up, and honestly, it's pretty much what I expected, right? I mean, this is the Pentium Gold processor, so it's not the fastest thing in the world, but I think you can see there that it is, decently fast. It's not going to, win any awards for being just the fastest device on planet Earth, but I think what it does do, it does relatively well. Now, I will say that this thing was running Windows 11 S, which is the version of Windows 11 that does not allow you to actually install or to run .exe files. You're going to be stuck going to the Microsoft Store for any application that you want to install. The very first thing I did is I got rid of that, which you can do freely. So this can now install exe files so that I was able to install Discord and things like that. Now, I do plan on, as I test this thing, installing some games and testing some of that stuff out. I don't have super high hopes for how a game is going to work, but I definitely do intend on testing that. Now, obviously, the fact that it ran the S version of Windows 11, that's due to a couple of things they're trying to do. They're trying to make the device, quote unquote, more secure and also a bit faster because apps in the Microsoft Store are going to probably run better on this hardware. But, of course, we like the ability to install whatever we want. And, of course, when you start opening up a ton of things, you start, really pushing this thing a bit by opening up a whole bunch of applications. And let's try to open up a web app here of YouTube TV. You're going to notice that it's going to start to bog down, all right? Like when you really start to push this thing, you're going to feel that this thing has 4 gigs of RAM, and you're going to feel that Intel Pentium Gold processor that is just now loading up. This is not a multitasking sort of device from my first impressions here. This is going to be something that you're going to be doing, sort of one thing at a time with. Now, something that I do want to quickly point out here as I close all of these things, how small it actually is, right? So I showed you this a minute ago, but here it is again. This is my Surface Pro 7, which I do really like, and I do still use this thing from time to time, but it is rather large, and I kind of do like the smaller form factor. Now I have another device. This is my Galaxy Tab S7, and you can see here that it is a really similar size to this Surface Go 3, and I really liked this device as well with the, I mean, it literally like has the case with the kickstand that's just like the Surface. It's got the keyboard, it's got DeX and all that stuff. But there was one thing about this device that always kind of held it back for me. And some people will think I'm crazy, but it's the aspect ratio. It's too short. When I'm running my web browser, let's say, and let's say I want to use the website for Twitter, it's just so short. You know, you got your bar up here, another bar there for the web browser, and then this down at the bottom. And before you know it, there's just barely anything on the screen at all. And that, honestly, that drove me crazy. Now, as a device, you know, quickness, speed of launching apps and moving from thing to thing. Yeah, I mean, this is going to be a faster device than what we have with this Surface Go 3. This thing absolutely flies. However, the screen on this thing, I actually do prefer. Windows Hello logging me in there. Very, very cool. Because if we go do the exact same thing, let's go to Twitter. How much more is visible on screen once these tweets load? It's actually quite a bit more. And of course, I can have extensions and do all these cool things as well. So the screen, I love the height of these Surface screens. So yeah, there's a lot there. There's a lot I'm going to have to kind of do to properly review this thing. I need to use it for a good while before I'm comfortable reviewing it, but I think that kind of gives you a good idea of where I am here straight off the bat. Like I said, I do intend on trying some games and doing some things, so this thing's probably not going to be particularly good at, but we're going to do that anyways, and we're going to see how I can integrate this neat little tablet with these low-end specs into my workflow and into my life. Stay tuned for that. If you want to see it, hit that subscribe button before you leave. I'll see you on the next one, and until next time, stay nerdy, my friends.